Absurdians, and welcome to the Prose Gamer. This is a series where I take a look in the book of that name. This is the Prose Gamer, and in it contains stories from the games that we know and love, but they aren't just the main stories that we know. These stories go a little bit deeper and explore some more things in those worlds. So let's bust this open and get on to today's story, which takes place in the world of Titanfall and is entitled From the Journal of Private Stevens. I can't tell you why the war started. I can't even tell you the exact time and place. Some separatist attacks some shithole planet, a research lab gets blown up, higher-ups start yelling at other higher-ups, and you've got a war. It wasn't one of those clear-cut huge disasters that captures the hearts and minds of people across the stars. No, that would have been simple. That would have been easy. This was a slow burner, and most people didn't know war was going on until we'd already been fighting for years. I've been sent across space for all sorts of causes and reasons, but these days it just seems to be a land game. Occupy and control this planet, hold this station, capture that city. It seems like the people in charge are playing a massive game of Risk, and we're the pieces that get moved around. Apparently, we're helping the war effort by sustaining control and denying the enemy those assets. I don't know. It's not my job to know or to ask questions. Leave that to the men in charge. They get the reasons, we get the orders. I'm a private. I'm a grunt. Lowest of the low. They call us seat warmers back at base, because it's likely someone else will be using our seat on the next flight out. War has only gotten harder for ground troops over the years, with orbital weapons, smart guns, robot troops, all the weird shit that the military scientists keep throwing at the field. We know we're probably not coming back, and we all know it, whether we show it or not. Do you know what that kind of knowledge does to a man? To know with absolute certainty that you will die in the battlefield. That knowledge alone cost us a lot of soldiers in the early days. Men and women who couldn't face their deaths at someone else's hand. They couldn't stand that just total loss of control. So they grabbed at the chance to do it themselves. It was their last little act of independence. I didn't like those days. The brass needed wins and they needed morale. And then out of nowhere came the pilots. God damn, those pilots. Now, of course, there wasn't anything hugely special about these guys. They were just people, men and women who joked and talked and shat in the dust like the rest of us. But just being around them made folks stronger, more determined. They didn't give speeches, they weren't poster boys or girls. They just had something about them. Something tangible that you could hold on to when you were feeling low. And it would haul your sorry ass out of whatever pit you were wallowing in. Hell, some of them were even grunts that had either shown the aptitude or just been plain lucky enough to get put into pilot training. But knowing what they could do, knowing what they'd already been through to get to where they are, that was enough. That made them more than people. And what they piloted, that made them gods. Whoever came up with Titans deserves as many medals as you can stick to them. Yeah, there may have been more practical or cost-effective weapons, but at a time when over half the military force was getting friendly with the end of their own guns, along came these giant metal warriors, machines of war that swept the battlefields like a force of nature. It was genius, really. Suddenly soldiers weren't so afraid. We had something to rally behind, a literal gift from above sent to give us what we needed to fight, to win. Needless to say, the enemy got their hands on Titans pretty fast. Whether it was salvaged wreckage, defected scientists, or just good old-fashioned back-alley black market salesmanship, I don't care. All that mattered was suddenly bots were dropping on the wrong side and were shooting at us. I was lucky. The first one I saw came about a month after we first heard about it. I feel so sorry for those poor sons of bitches who first watched as their greatest salvation became their worst nightmare. Anyway, the one pilot experience that sticks with me happened about a year ago. We were stationed at a facility on a do-nothing planet. No idea what we were guarding, but apparently it was top priority. And the force we had for such a high-profile gig seemed pretty underwhelming. It was me, 5 other grunts, and a single pilot. And this was only the 3rd time I'd been on a pilot squad, but she was a nice one. Pretty quiet, not too chatty, you know? Still, having her there made the rest of us feel better, and she did her best to keep the spirits up, you know. We'd been there for a couple of weeks when we heard there was something incoming, and it was bad. It was hauling ass. The pilot called the ship she had in orbit, and I overheard on her radio that her Titan would be ready in 4 minutes, some problem with the release valve or something. But no more than a minute must have passed since her radio went silent that 4 enemy Titans plummeted from the sky, just ripping up the garden in front of our building and showering us all with dirt. God, I don't think I'll ever drink that memory out of my mind, and Lord knows I've tried. 4 enemy Titans, all looking directly at us. And you know there's a pilot in each one, skilled and ready and encased in a suit of fucking armour. I don't remember breathing, but I must have done because I yelled something like "get down" before they opened fire, and they tore that building to pieces. It was a modern place, all open plan and fancy pillars and stuff. A real architectural wonder. But it made it hell when it came to cover, though. 2 of my fellow grunts were torn to shreds before they could even move, and the rest of us managed to get behind ledges or round corners. Just anything to avoid the hail of death that was coming up to our door. Now maybe I'm just trying to save face, but I'm sure each of us realised that we weren't making it out of there. To this day, I still don't know what the hell we were guarding, but 4 Titans don't show up for something small, you know? Either way, we were outgunned and we were gonna die. I was making peace with myself when I noticed our pilot was standing up next to me, looking round the corner. She didn't even look scared. She just looked pissed. And then she ran out there. I froze. I didn't know what I'd just seen. For all I knew, she just decided to kill herself, and I was terrified. I figured I'd have a look, see how far she'd made it, managed to wipe the dirt and sweat from my eyes and crawl to the edge where I peered around. She was flying. They have these jump packs or jet packs or whatever they're officially called, so pilots can damn near skip across buildings, and that's what she was doing. I saw her run up a wall and leap across to the 2nd floor, and you could see when the other pilots realised what she was, the moment they started concentrating all their fire on her and her alone. Bullets chased her across that 2nd floor, but she was a blur. She didn't stop moving. I could barely follow her. She was climbing and running and jumping. And then she levelled her gun at the nearest enemy Titan and sprinted straight at it, blasting away with her rifle and seemingly chasing her own bullets. She hurled herself from the front of our building, out of a broken window, and onto that bastard's face. I think I heard the guy inside shit himself, and then she crawled around and blasted the casing on its back. When it started smoking, she just leapt into the sky, and I swear she just looked down and watched as that thing exploded beneath her. Thunder shook the sky again, and I saw another Titan making the drop. I'd completely forgotten that she had her own coming in, but God, did I remember it. She met it in mid-air and was inside before it hit the ground. It was like watching an aerial ballet between her and her Titan, and it was beautiful. I don't know what happened in my head, but when that Titan touched down, I just got up and started firing. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I used up pretty much all my ammo and my voice was hoarse from shouting afterwards. But we won. Well, no, she won. We were just along for the ride. All 4 enemy bots and pilots were totaled. And she came down out of her Titan like an angel, and she shook my hand and said I'd done a good job. Now, I'm pretty sure she was just being nice, but my heart down here exploded from pride. After that attack, security was beefed up and I was rotated out with the next shipment of grunts. I never found out what happened to that pilot. I don't even know her first name. Now, I don't wonder if she remembers me. I'm a grunt. We're pretty expendable and forgettable. But I will always remember her. You can bet your ass if I make it out of this war, I'll be telling my kids about that woman. She's worth the stories and the songs. Because in the end, that's what pilots and titans are. They're myths made real. They're legends. So I hope you guys enjoyed that story. It was great fun to write. I mainly wanted to write it because as soon as I heard there were grunts in this game and I saw some footage playing it, I thought, what must battles be like for those guys? It's got to be pretty awesome. So I just wanted to write it from the perspective of someone that you probably don't even think about in the game. It's just another body on the field, but everyone has a story to tell. So let me know what you think of the story. I had good fun writing it. Hopefully it was good fun for you guys to hear. Next week, don't know what I'm going to be doing. I'm thinking BioShock Infinite. If you've got a game you want me to write a story about, get it in the comments. Otherwise, in the meantime, this has been the Prose Gamer. I've been Rich Perry. Have a fantastic day.